In a distant time, there lived a mysterious man named Nikolaus, known as Nikolaus the Dark. He resided in a small abandoned village, far from the eyes of people, where thick snow covered the ground, hiding his sinister secrets. Nikolaus the Dark grew up in a mysterious family living in dense forest, where trees intertwined and concealed dark spirits. They were said to practice black magic and deal with the forces of darkness to gain supernatural power. However, one day, Nikolaus the Dark decided to do something unique. He chose to spy on the children living in nearby villages, observing them from dark corners, creating a list based on their actions and mistakes. But this gruesome curiosity was not without oddities. Strange visions began to haunt him, foretelling an impending evil. Shadows surrounding him transformed into ghostly forms, and terrifying sounds echoed in his ears. On one dark night, Nikolaus the Dark transformed into his final form, a shape exuding horror and malevolence. His face became terrifying, and his eyes gleamed with a strange red color. As if his dark heart had filled with malevolence, he roamed the nights, entering the homes of innocent children to take them away. However, an ancient sorceress who lived in that gloomy forest had a different vision. She tried to stop Nikolaus the Dark before he could fulfill his sinister plans, and succeeded in an epic battle between the forces of light and darkness. After his defeat, Nikolaus the Dark was imprisoned in a small abandoned village, and an ancient curse was placed on him to prevent him from causing harm again. Thus, Nikolaus's story turned into a cautionary tale for children who tread the line between goodness and evil. After his defeat and the curse placed upon him, the small village began to hear strange sounds and feel the presence of something unseen wandering in its dark alleys. Children reported seeing mysterious shadows passing swiftly behind closed windows, and the night was pierced by a strange echoing sound. Years passed, and myths proliferated about Nikolaus the Dark's village, turning the story into bedtime tales for children. They heard about demons hiding in the corners of the forest and the terrifying sounds resonating in the cold nights. But as time went on, people started to forget that dark story, treating it as mere imagination. The village gradually returned to its normal life, and Nikolaus the Dark remained confined. However, on a Christmas Eve night, terrible events returned to the village. People began to sense something unfamiliar in the air, and children started to fear once again. The atmosphere shifted to a captivating darkness, and the winds carried eerie sounds. On that night, a little girl named Lena decided to seek the truth behind these events. She went to the place where Nikolaus the Dark was imprisoned, and as she approached, she felt an intense cold creeping into her bones. Nikolaus was attempting to break free from his restraints, and the closer Lena got, the stronger the darkness around him became. In that moment, Nikolaus the Dark transformed into his most menacing form. His features became terrifying, and his eyes glowed with an otherworldly red hue. Lena, undeterred, ran around Nikolaus, reciting words she had heard from her grandmother's stories, words that strengthened the light and defeated the darkness. As the brightness of the light increased, Nikolaus the Dark began to retreat and scream in pain. The more the light intensified, the weaker the darkness became. Finally, Nikolaus's restraints shattered, but he did not assume the feared form everyone anticipated. Instead of the terrifying figure, he transformed into an old man who seemed tired and worn out. Lena knew that light had the power to break through the barriers of darkness, and that evil could find itself trapped in the corners of the human heart. As Christmas candles flickered in homes and the chilling sounds vanished from the air, Lena became the symbol of triumph over darkness. Lena, the little heroine, was now the only person who knew about that dark night and the battle between light and darkness. While the village enjoyed Christmas, Lena continued to carry the light's lantern as a symbol of hope and strength. People shared the story of Lena and the Knights of Light on that dark night, and the tale became part of the village's heritage. Children were reminded that light has the power to overcome darkness, and that goodness can emerge even from the darkest corners. In the following years, Lena's story and the Knights of Light became a living legend in the village, spreading its fame to other villages. People came to hear her story, appreciating her courage and belief in the power of light. As the next Christmas approached, new signs of threat appeared. Shadows began to encircle the edges of the forest, and terrifying sounds echoed in the air again. People were not ready to entertain the thought of Nikolaus the Dark's return. Lena and the Knights of Light decided to move again to face the upcoming challenge. This time, they knew that darkness had a new power source. As they prepared for battle, radiant lanterns appeared in the sky, as if the heavens themselves were speaking in a language of light. At that moment, the luminous lanterns turned into divine beings, appearing before Lena and the Knights of Light. These beings, carried on wings of light and rays from the sky, informed Lena that they had come to offer their assistance. While the battle between light and darkness raged on, the divine beings swiftly directed a special power toward Lena. She received a new lantern, a lantern carrying the power of hope and unity. When she ignited the lantern, super bright rays of light overcame the darkness of the night. Nikolaus the Dark couldn't resist this new light. His restraints shattered, and his shadows dissipated. In the end, peace returned to the village, and the terrifying sounds vanished. The divine beings then withdrew, leaving behind a grateful Lena and the Knights of Light. Lena now carried the lantern, symbolizing hope and triumph over darkness, continuing to inspire future generations with her brave story. In a night of deep winter, when the moon had disappeared behind dark clouds, calm returned to the village. Yet, people noticed something strange at the forest's edge. Their heads turning toward the darkness that seemed to move like a dancing shadow in the night. There were no sounds, but the air carried melodious and incomprehensible tunes. In that darkness, a strange figure emerged, its details indistinguishable. A touch of mystery remains. Had the battle between light and darkness truly ended? Or was there something mysterious waiting in the depths of the night? Suddenly, and without warning, something happens that no one expected from Nikolaus. To find out what happened with Nikolaus, subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications to receive an alert as soon as the second part of the story is published.